troubleshooting and alarms. Power failure. In this segment, we will review some basic information about what happens to the Home Choice APD system during a power failure, options available during a power failure, and steps to take depending on the length of the power failure. When a power failure occurs during your patient's therapy, the system stops heating and pumping fluid, and the display screen turns off. However, the display will power up each time a key is pushed during the first 30 minutes of the power failure. If your patient's power is restored within 2 hours, the therapy can be restarted from where it was left off. If the power is not restored within 2 hours, the therapy is not allowed to continue. If fluid remains in a patient's abdomen during a power failure, they may still be receiving their dialysis therapy. This video segment explains the procedure a patient should use if a power failure occurs. Remember to refer patients back to the Patient at Home Guide as it contains this information in step-by-step detail. If your patient has any questions about what to do or if their treatment should be continued, they should be advised to contact their dialysis center. When a power failure occurs, or if the power switch is turned off during setup, all valves on the cassette close to prevent any solution from being delivered to the patient. If the power is restored within 2 hours, the system returns to the Press Go to Start display. When the power is interrupted during priming and a disposable set is already set up on the cycler, the patient must make sure to close all clamps. This prevents the free flow of fluid from one bag to another and/or to the patient when Load the Set is displayed. If all clamps are not closed, free fluid flow can cause an increase in intraperitoneal volume, or IIPV. If the power is restored within 2 hours, the message Press Go to Start is displayed. Make sure the clamps have been closed before you press the Go button. If a power failure occurs anytime during or after initial drain, the system stops heating and pumping fluid, and the display turns off. To turn it on, press any button. If fluid remains in a patient's peritoneal cavity during a power failure, they may still be receiving their dialysis therapy. During a power failure, patients can still access the following therapy options because the battery backup will continue to function for 30 minutes after the power failure began. Power failure alarm, current therapy phase, current status, initial drain volume, total UF, average dwell time, end the therapy. To access these options, Step 1. Press any button to activate the display. Step 2. Press Stop to silence the alarm. Step 3. Press the down arrow to view each option. If no button is pressed for 2 minutes, the display turns off. To turn it back on, press any button. The specific action you should advise a patient to take during a power outage is dependent on how long the power is out. If the power is restored within 30 minutes, the system will resume therapy without any alarms. If the power is not restored within 30 minutes, an alarm occurs after 30 minutes without power. Press Stop to mute the alarm. The display will read power failure, alternating with the last therapy phase. If power is restored within approximately 2 hours, an alarm occurs when power is restored. The display reads power restored, alternating with the last therapy phase. Press stop, then go to restart the patient's therapy from where it was left off. If power is not restored within 2 hours, the patient must end their therapy. The patient should be advised to contact their dialysis center for instructions on whether to restart their therapy or perform a modified therapy. The patient may need to perform a CAPD exchange if an extended power failure prevents them from performing therapy on the cycler.